Can you imagine a tribe where men have more than 10 wives at a time? Welcome to the Hadzabe tribe, is an indigenous group residing in northern Tanzania, particularly in the regions surrounding Lake Eyasi in the Ngorongoro district. Known for their unique way of life, the Hadzabe are among the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies in Africa. Their culture, traditions, and relationship with the environment offer a fascinating glimpse into the lifestyles of ancient human societies. The Hadzabe tribe hunts with remarkable skill, using handcrafted bows and poison-tipped arrows. They track game like antelope, baboons, and birds with an intuition honed over centuries. Their diet is a wild feast: meat, honey, tubers, and berries. Imagine surviving solely on what nature offers, every meal earned. The Hadzabe tribe shares a fascinating partnership with their dogs while hunting. These dogs aren't just pets, they're skilled collaborators, helping track animals through dense wilderness. The bond between hunter and dog is ancient and vital, a silent dance of instincts that boosts their survival. Isn't it incredible? The Hadzabe tribe crafts their homes in a way that's as simple as it is brilliant: temporary shelters made from branches and grass, blending seamlessly with the land. These homes aren't built to last but to move. Why? Because they follow the rhythms of nature, living freely where food leads them. Isn't that wild? How would you feel to live in a temporary home like this, knowing you might have to move anytime? Let me know what you think in the comments. Surprisingly, the Hadzabe tribe doesn't follow the usual idea of leadership. They have no formal leader, no chiefs or hierarchies. Instead, decisions are made collectively, with each person's voice carrying weight. It's a society where freedom and equality reign. The Hadzabe tribe doesn't rely on clocks or calendars. Time, to them, is woven into the natural world. They rise with the sun, hunt when hungry, and gather based on the seasons. Their schedule is a rhythm of survival, dictated by nature's cues, not ticking hands. Isn't that an entirely different way to live? If there were no women, the Hadzabe tribe might have not survived to this day. Hadzabe women play a crucial role in the collection of edible plants, fruits, nuts, and tubers. They are skilled foragers, often using their extensive knowledge of the local flora to identify which plants are safe and nutritious. This knowledge is typically passed down through generations, emphasizing the importance of oral tradition and communal learning within the tribe. Women often form strong social bonds with one another, sharing information about food sources, child-rearing practices, and other communal matters. These networks are vital for the tribe's cohesion as they foster cooperation and mutual support. The role of women in nurturing and socializing the next generation is fundamental to the tribe's survival, as it helps to instill cultural values, traditions, and survival skills in the youth. In Hadzabe society, men and women share responsibilities, although their roles differ significantly. Women primarily engage in foraging and gathering activities, while men are predominantly responsible for hunting. This division of labor is rooted in the physical abilities and skills that each gender typically possesses, as well as the cultural norms that have evolved over generations. Let's dive back into the fascinating topic of having 10 wives, but hold your horses before leaping to any conclusions. Let me clarify, in this culture, polygamy isn't merely a display of wealth or status, it's intricately linked to survival and communal cooperation. The savannah can be unforgiving, making multiple wives more than just a choice, it's often a necessity. More wives mean more hands to tackle essential tasks like gathering food, raising children, and ensuring the community thrives. Each wife plays an indispensable role, forming what could be termed a survival team. However, there's a catch: a man must demonstrate proven hunting skills and leadership abilities to support not just one family, but several. Let's be honest, Having that many wives guarantees he'll never be short on responsibilities or lively conversations. Traditionally, marriages among the Hadzabe are arranged, often by the families involved. However, the choice of a partner can also be influenced by personal preferences. Young men and women are generally allowed to express their interest in a potential partner, though the final decision often rests with the families. The ideal age for marriage varies, but men typically marry in their late teens or early 20s, while women may marry younger, often around 15 to 18 years old. The age gap between partners can be significant, as older men often marry younger women. This practice is partly driven by the idea that older men have more experience and better hunting skills, making them more desirable provider. Attire is a striking departure from what we might expect. Instead of elaborate dresses or suits, brides typically wear simple, handmade garments crafted from animal hides or woven materials, adorned with beads and natural decorations. Men might don similar attire, showcasing their connection to the earth and their culture. These garments are practical yet beautiful, reflecting their deep bond with nature and the significance of the occasion. Isn't it fascinating how their weddings emphasize authenticity and tradition over material extravagance? The Hadzabe tribe has a remarkable knack for finding water in the arid landscapes of Tanzania. They rely on their deep knowledge of the land, seeking out hidden sources like riverbeds, natural springs, and even digging shallow wells in the sand. They read the environment like a map, tracking animal trails that often lead to water. Sometimes, they gather moisture from certain plants or even extract water from tubers. It's a testament to their survival skills and connection to nature. The Hadzabe tribe does hunt and eat porcupines, and their methods are as fascinating as the creatures themselves. These spiky animals are tricky to catch, but the Hadzabe use their sharp wits and expertise to track them down at night when porcupines are most active. They'll often set traps or approach quietly, using their bows and arrows to strike when the moment is right. Once caught, porcupines provide not only a hearty meal but also a chance to utilize their quills in various ways. Isn't it intriguing how they turn a challenging hunt into a delicious feast? The Hadzabe tribe does eat monkeys, and the reasons are both practical and cultural. Monkeys are a rich source of protein, vital for sustaining the tribe's energy in their demanding environment. Hunting monkeys requires exceptional skill and teamwork, as these agile creatures are difficult to catch. The tribe often employs traditional bows and arrows, relying on their keen knowledge of animal behavior and movement to succeed. Beyond sustenance, eating monkey meat has deep cultural significance. It fosters community bonds, as hunting and sharing the catch is a communal event that strengthens relationships among tribe members. Each meal is a celebration of their connection to the land and its resources. The Hadzabe maintain a profound respect for the animals they hunt, viewing their consumption as part of a delicate balance within the ecosystem. Isn't it fascinating how their dietary choices reflect their intricate relationship with nature and survival? The Hadzabe tribe operates in a fascinating world where money isn't the currency of choice. Instead, they engage in a rich tapestry of barter and trade, exchanging goods and services based on mutual need. If someone has an abundance of honey, they might trade it for meat or other essentials. This system fosters a strong sense of community and cooperation, as each transaction is built on relationships and trust. Isn't it intriguing how their way of life emphasizes connection over capitalism, making every exchange a meaningful interaction? In recent years, the Hadzabe have become a point of interest for travelers seeking authentic cultural experiences. Responsible tourism initiatives aim to provide income to the tribe while allowing visitors to engage with the Hadzabe in a respectful manner. However, the impact of tourism on their lifestyle is a double-edged sword. While it can bring much-needed resources, it can also lead to cultural commodification and alter their traditional practices. Honey holds a special, almost sacred significance for the Hadzabe tribe. It's not just a delicious treat, it symbolizes wealth, sustenance, and connection to the land. Gathering honey is a communal activity filled with excitement and teamwork as they navigate the challenges of reaching beehives in trees. The sweet reward is used in rituals, shared during gatherings, and even bartered for other goods. It represents the tribe's deep understanding of nature and their resourcefulness. The Hadzabe tribe has a captivating approach to generating fire that reflects their deep connection to the natural world. Instead of relying on matches or lighters, they traditionally create fire through friction, skillfully rubbing sticks together or striking flint against steel. This ancient technique requires patience, expertise, and a bit of magic in their hands. Once they ignite a spark, the excitement is palpable as they nurture it into a roaring flame. Fire is more than just warmth, it's essential for cooking, protection, and social gatherings. Can you feel the thrill of transforming raw materials into a life-giving fire? The clothing of the Hadzabe is largely practical and functional, tailored to meet their needs as nomadic hunter-gatherers. Traditionally, the Hadzabe men wear minimal clothing to allow for ease of movement during hunting and gathering activities. Their attire typically consists of animal skins and fur. The primary clothing material for the Hadzabe is animal skins, which they obtain from the animals they hunt. Commonly used skins include those from antelopes, wildebeests, and other local fauna. These skins are processed and worn as capes or skirts, providing warmth and protection from the elements. The fur is often left intact for added insulation. While men traditionally wear minimal clothing, they may also wear simple trousers or shorts made from animal hides or, more recently, from cloth acquired through trade or outside contact. This adaptation reflects changes in lifestyle and the influence of neighboring cultures. Women in the Hadzabe tribe typically wear a simple wrap or skirt made from animal skins, similar to the attire of men. However, women may also wear beaded belts and adorn their clothing with decorative elements. These wraps allow for ease of movement while gathering food and caring for children.